What's up, it's your boy Reemus, and in this video we're going to be speaking about 3 ways to be more in your masculine energy, to increase this energy within and its expression and so on, right? So let's get into it. I always say it's very important because in this culture there's not a support of this energy, so naturally this state isn't going to come natural to most men. They have to learn, they have to train, they have to practice, putting their body and their mind in a state where this is just automatically who they are, right? So let's get into it. The first thing. So the first way you can be more in your masculine energy is practice being grounded and unfazed by certain things. When you think about, let's say, emotions, right? There's always a narrative that a man's not supposed to show his emotions and so on, but that's not exactly the case. It's more that it goes back to when that was being said, it was necessary for the time, but it does show the necessary role of a man and what he contributes to nature and the community. But we can take elements of that and leave out the unhealthy parts, which is to say this. We don't want to be in a state of reactivity. We're not always just reacting to life happening to us and the things that people are saying and the things that are being done and so on. You want to practice being as solid as a mountain, right? That's literally one of my affirmations. You want your mind to be like a mountain, your mental state to be as strong and sturdy and firm as what a mountain would be. So practice being grounded and unfazed by everything you see, because if you're fazed by everything, then this is where you can be emotionally manipulated, and just like a string and just like a puppet, people can take advantage of that. But it's very hard for someone to take advantage of you if you're unfazed, if you're grounded, if you're coming from a place of structure within your mind. And we know that structure is one of the components of the masculine energy. So as much as you can, you're going to practice grounded. Even when I'm sitting, you want to practice not always fidgeting, not always moving. Sometimes I see people and they, doing this and it's kind of like that volatile energy of the feminine, which is always going around. And that's not a bad thing, but that has to be expressed properly when it's coming through women. So, being able to just be still. And you see that, right? Let's say you're watching a movie and it could be the mafia or something. You're watching a mafia movie or a movie with a king, and he just sits there and he's like this when he's coming into the scene, and he's not moving because he's not fazed. He's not feeling pressure. You can tell that he's feeling calm. So the second thing that helps you let me say that again. The second thing that helps you to embrace your masculine energy is practicing the art of patience. So patience is very strong too, because it's like the opposite of pleasure, and we know that pleasure is very heavily attributed to the feminine, because that's the flow and the need for stimulation and so on. But when you're patient, you're able to forego being a slave to the need to stimulation and pleasure. So that's why you're able to be disciplined. Discipline is very important, right? When you're thinking about discipline and you're doing something, you're actually practicing patience, because you're going through struggle or you're neglecting certain pleasures and you're waiting and you're being stable. It goes back to what I said about being grounded and unfazed. When you're patient, you're unfazed. You're like, okay, I just have to wait. And you might be uncomfortable. You might feel some level of, it could be even certain anxieties about a certain thing, curiosity and so on. It's funny when we talk about that, we know that women are very curious, and that actually kills a lot of their patience, because they can't wait for what they want to be discovered to be uncovered. So practice the art of patience. Just wait, and just, your body's like, oh, I want to do something. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you're like, you're going to have to wait. It's okay. I'm in control here. Right? So that is you being the embodiment of structure. And then the third thing is you want to practice not being easily swayed. So this really is a different expression of the last 2 points that I was saying. Patience is important, being unfazed is important, and being grounded is important. So let's say in terms of interacting with other people, because the other things are really to do with yourself. When you're interacting with other people and interacting with the world, you don't want to just be swayed by what you're seeing, because then you're just all over the place. And this literally is the flow of the feminine. Your hair, this is your belief, this is how you feel. This is why a lot of men are actually stubborn. Now, you can take this stuff excessively and it can go too far with it, but I'm just talking about, you know, for the person who wants to practice being in your masculine energy. So you probably need more of this at this current time than the other side. So when people are expressing their opinions, or you're seeing certain things being said, don't just think, oh, they broke it down in a certain way, so now I'm just easily swayed. Especially when it comes to emotion, don't just see emotional expressions and say, well, because they emotionally expressed in a certain way, now I'm easily swayed thinking what they think. Again, this is how you get manipulated. Let's say when it comes to media, this is a very big thing, social media. Let's say everyone is saying one thing, but because you see the social pressure and them pushing a certain narrative, you're easily swayed. This is how people get manipulated in politics. You want to look at the facts, the logic, the statistics, and even if 90% of people are being emotionally swayed, you're like, no, that's actually not true, and you're willing to stand on your principles. So again, all of this makes you the embodiment of structure, and we know that structure is one of the components of the masculine. Hope this helped. We can talk about this more in depth. I have other videos on this subject anyway. One thing you might want to do is go to the description and download a free ebook on this particular subject. I don't know how long it's going to be free for, especially by the time you see this video. So as soon as you can, go to the link in my description and download the free book that I will have on masculinity right there. But until next time, right, comment down below, let Reemus know, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.